So, Rosara, I'd like to check in on how you and your son James have been doing over the past week. Have you all had any moments to talk to each other since the last session?
Yes, I've talked to him a few times this week, actually more than I would normally talk to him. And he tells me that he misses me, and I tell him that I miss him as well, and I miss him more than he'll ever know. But just a few conversations throughout the week is pretty much it.
How did you feel when James told you that he missed you?
It was it was kind of like a relief. It was a great feeling, of course, but it just brought me relief knowing that he's missing me and that, I could feel his love again. I felt happiness as well because this is definitely a change for James. He rarely acknowledges how he feels. So it was a happy feeling knowing that he was able to express that to me.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're having these positive feelings, during this difficult time in y'all's lives right now. Have you thought about any other ways that you can build up your relationship with James? Like any other things y'all can do together?
Yeah, I have. Right now, I think the best thing would just be to continue to contact him, and speak to him over the phone. Sometimes we do send text messages back and forth, but normally he'll stop replying. But I think right now it would just be to continue to reach out to him. He's all I have, so I just don't want him to slip away. And, right now I just want to focus on opening that line of communication. And I still worry about that from time to time.
Okay. So I can sense the love and the care that you have for him, but also this hesitancy to kind of rock the boat right now by changing things too much. Can you tell me more about the thoughts you have when you said you worry about James? What comes up specifically?
I tend to worry more about how he's coping, and how he's grieving with Ruben's death. It's been months now, and I just worry if he's okay, if he's eating, and if he's feeling any type of depression or just how he's just feeling on the inside. I mean, I wonder how he's doing every day, and I know that he knows that I'll always love him, but sometimes I just worry myself that I'm not a good mother.
I believe your worries for your son are natural, and part of what any family who's gone through what you have would be experiencing. And I bet your son is having similar worries about you right now, too. I did want to talk more about that last phrase you mentioned. What more can you tell me about the thought that James thinks that I'm not a good mother?
I really can't help but think that. And, just being that I wasn't able to help Ruben, sometimes I just think, what can I do for James? So I think about that. I think about that most of the time, but I know that he possibly couldn't feel that same way about me, but it's just something that I think about just daily.
So during the day when these thoughts come up for you, how do they affect you in that moment?
I start to feel I feel my anxiety. I feel guilty. My head starts to get small headaches, and it's just not to worry because it just affects my daily routine. But sometimes I don't want to cook. Sometimes I sleep in late. I know my pattern has changed a lot. So with all of those, it's just communicating with James has made things easier for me. And it also helps me feel better each and every day. So I'm just taking it day at a time, just knowing that I'm engaging more with my son.
I'm glad to hear that you're seeing the positive signs right now too, even though you've got these significant challenges and these thoughts are disrupting your day in a lot of ways. Are there any particular times of the day or perhaps something you're doing while you're at home that seems to trigger these thoughts?
Um, I don't know. It normally happens when I'm home alone, or when it's quiet in the house and these starting to just override in my mind. And it could be, random times of the day if I'm reading a book, or if I just tend to soak and just kind of sit and think about all of these thoughts going on in my head. I pretty much let those thoughts consume my day and time. But listening to the radio or the TV normally helps me just kind of throw those thoughts to the back of my mind. It kind of keeps me distracted.
Mm. Yeah, I could see that having a big impact on your life, on having a hard time staying in those quiet moments because of these thoughts that come up. And that's a big part of what we can do through CBT is take steps to address those thoughts and limit the negative impact on your daily life. We don't have any instant fixes. It's a process, and it's going to involve a set of practices that you'll have to commit time and energy to if you would really like to change this all. So one thing we could try as a start, if you're up for it, is recording a thought log between this session and the next. So how do you feel about when I say doing a thought log?
Um, I think anything that would be beneficial to helping me process these thoughts, that would be helpful. So if you see that it is fit, I would definitely be willing to try it out if it will help me. Could you just explain a little bit more about the thought log or what it entails?
Of course. The main thing that a thought log can help with is monitoring these automatic thoughts you're experiencing, and that right now you might be taking for granted to a certain extent. But if you stay mindful and record these thoughts as they happen or soon afterwards, when they happen, what you're doing, how they make you feel, and the specific phrases that come up, and we discuss it, we might come across patterns and possible triggers for you. And also for some people who do this thought log, it immediately starts making them aware of the thoughts and able to counter them in the moment, um, which is also helpful. So given all that, what do you think about trying a thought log this week?
It sounds good to me. I'll definitely be willing to try and jot down my thoughts and what will just help me basically focus on those thoughts and how they make me feel.
Well, that sounds great, and it's something, the more we pay attention to it from the start, I think the more beneficial it'll be for you. And I can give you a worksheet at the end of the session with any other questions about it that you might have. I was also glad to hear that talking to James more this week, as you noted, had a positive impact on your mood. So tell me about some of the things that talking to James made it easier to do.
Definitely just pretty much relieve most of my stress. That alone helped me just leave the house and take a walk around the neighborhood like Ruben and I would do. I've also started scrapbooking, and it's just a great time for me to look over those memories of James and Ruben, and it just has a positive effect on my daily mood. It makes me smile more, and it just helps uplift me, just pretty much a day at a time.
Hmm. And I'd like you to continue, staying with those activities that are uplifting you right now, and to keep that feeling present with you when you have those thoughts overwhelming you, and just remembering that at other times of the day you are feeling uplifted. These thoughts are not all you're experiencing and all your mood will be. I want you to try to think about those good feelings every day and see the positive impact it has on your behavior too. So, how do you think, in thinking about these positive feelings of connection and uplift, if you're able to hold on to these feelings longer, how do you think it could help you perhaps find ways to reconnect to James? Do any ideas come up now if you're able to hold the two together?
Yeah, I've thought about, just maintaining that open communication, and also maintaining those good and positive thoughts as well. I've thought about asking James to come over and cook for us, an opportunity to just bond again and for us to reconnect doing something that we both love, is cooking.
Okay. And that's something we can talk about doing more too. I think once you bump up against the reality of realizing that James will probably enjoy cooking with you, I think that'll also help counter these negative thoughts of, he doesn't want to spend time with me, or, he doesn't think I'm a good mother. So I think the more you engage in reality to fight against those thoughts, the better.